day afterwards, how is that day different than the birthday party? And are you worried about that? You must be thinking, when I wake up tomorrow morning, am I going to be back?
So I'll be honest, afterwards I had a huge amount of euphoria. I literally felt on top of the planet. Godlike, you just feel, it's a surreal feeling. It's completely different to winning a gold medal at the Olympics. This is out of 7 billion people, you are the strongest. You are the alpha. You're the one. And for me, it was such a surreal thing to take in. It never really sank in. Do you want me to tell you when it sank in? The day I lost the title. That's when it sank in. That's when I realized that I had it. When I lost it.
Interesting.
It's so yeah, I'd say for a few months I had a good euphoria. It was obviously I had my down points, but it was a good euphoria. I felt as though I was winning at life. I completed life. I was successful, and then the privilege wears off quite quickly. You are coming back down to reality. All the endorsements came in thick and fast. The appearances. I did a good year of solid, work, basically capitalizing on the win. And then I wanted to sort of back away from that, take a bit of time for myself. And that's when it was like, what do I do now? And that's when the depression kicked in again. And it's like, where do you go after success? What do you do with yourself? It's not like with the deadlift where I can reset my goals in the strength industry. There's nothing else I could do. I've done it all. I've done the deadlift. I've done the world's strongest man. So where do I go next? And then I just looked to Arnold again. I looked to Arnold Schwarzenegger. What did he do? He used sport as a stepping stone to get into Hollywood, to break into the movies, get into acting. So just like that, right, that's it. I started doing acting lessons. I've been doing acting lessons now for 2 years. I signed up with a London agent and started getting my name out there, for TV shows, movies. And 2 years later, I've just done 2 seasons for 2 TV shows. Done one on my own TV show, Eddie Eats America, which is basically like a man versus food / strongman / cultural sort of program. And then I'm doing one for the History Channel, The Strongest Man in History. And that's basically me and 3 other strongmen going back in time and doing these feats of strength that you hear about, the Chinese whispers, and you see pictures of guys lifting up elephants and bulls across the back, and people lifting up cars on stages in the Victorian times. And I suppose we're going back in time and investigating these historic figures like the Louis Seirs and the Paul Andersons, and to put it in the right concept for you to understand, like the Hercules. You hear these stories of Hercules. Is he a real guy? Did he do these feats of strength? Where did it come from? I suppose our job is to go back in time and replicate what these guys did, relive their lives, see if it can be done. And if it can't be done, if we can't do it, the strongest men on the planet can't do it, then it's bullshit. But maybe they did some trickery. Maybe they used some levers, some ropes. Maybe they had some certain technique. And that's what we go back in time and do. We go back in time and relive these guys' lives and what they did. And I think it's actually really interesting. And it's like, I think it'll really work. We've just done season 1. We're talking about season 2. But it's like these TV shows that just, you never forget. I think we talked about this earlier. It's like the Man versus Food with Adam Richman. Yeah. I think you say Man versus Food over anywhere on the globe, they know what you're talking about. Because it was just so... It captured the audience. It was so unique. And then you've got the River Monsters that me and my wife just love to sit down and watch a guy fish out these 400-pound group of fish from the ocean, It's weird, but it works. It captures the amount. And I feel as though the History Channel one is really one of those TV shows that can really captivate the audience.
It's a big deal, too.
It is,
History Channel's a big deal.
It is.
I mean, 3 years ago, if I told Eddie you're going to be on the History Channel, would you have laughed in my face? Or not? Or did you know you were going to be Schwarzenegger?
I'd probably laugh. I'd probably like, fuck off. It's not going to happen, It's a bit, I say it's all surreal, and it's all off the back of success. It's what... that title has opened up a whole avenue of opportunities for me, and that's 2 of them. There's quite a lot more on the cards. I'm meeting big film producers, and I mean big ones. Working with Arnold Schwarzenegger on a documentary.
What's it about?
So I've got a documentary on Netflix already called Eddie Strongman, and there's another one called Born Strong as well.
Okay.
And so it's basically a follow-on from Eddie One, where, you know, Eddie One was about the story of a working class guy, obviously a true story, a working class guy that's trying to become the world's strongest man. And he goes through all this hardship and you know, and loss and grief, and sacrifice for this dream. And I suppose the end of the film leaves this big question mark of what happened to this guy after, you know, this was filmed in 2000, it was released in 2015. What happened to this guy? And 2 years later, I win the world's strongest man. I suppose that's where the film picks up. I do the half-ton deadlift. I do the impossible. You know, I win the world's strongest man. So I achieve the dream, you know, that I evidently set myself in previous years. And then it's about following in the footsteps of Arnie. You know, it's about what do you do, what life after success. It's breaking into the movie industry. So it's landing these TV shows. It's working alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger. But then I also want to make it about mental health. You know, the film's got to it's got to have a crunch on it, and that's it for me. Because mental health right now is so rife, especially in the UK, and it's such a hard thing to talk about. You know, you can't talk about it with your mates because you feel weak. People can't open up to family because it makes them look weak. But I suppose I want to spread that message that you shouldn't feel weak. You know, it's such a common thing out there that you should just open up to a family member or a friend. Or like me, sat here opening up to you and millions of people on YouTube. You know, it's something that you just should open up about. And I think once you've opened up about it, you accept it and you can sort of learn to deal with it and move forward in life. And I think what I've done is used goals. It's like the sink or swim. You know, I've used goals in my life to keep setting goals, keep pushing forward and moving forward in life. And I've achieved that success. And it's like, back down again. And then back up we go. Right, I'm chasing Hollywood now. And this is exactly what Arnold's done his entire life. And I suppose, you know, the film is really about inspirational people. And the main one, you know, Arnold, as a young kid, was inspired by a guy called Red Parks, like I think one of the original Hercules in the films. Mm. And then Arnold's grown up to be this huge, massive superstar who has in turn inspired people like myself and other bodybuilders and movie stars. And then I've myself gone on and inspired millions of people in what I've done. And then it's that massive knock-on effect from inspirational people. And I think that's a lot to do with mental health. You know, it's sometimes we need heroes to look up to sort of keep track of our life and keep pushing forward.